Hello, I'm Peter. In this Mog Live, we're going to watch Party while listening to Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4. Oh, wait, we're going to listen to watch. We're going to watch a part. We're watching Obi-Wan Episode 4. Thanks. Bravely bold Sir Robin rode forth from Camelot. He was not afraid to die. Right. I thought that overall it was good. There's a few question marks I'd like answered. Um, just yeah, and they're already talking about season two. I hope that they actually. This is the problem I have with series that are already anticipating season two is that they're like, oh, we better not finish season one. We better just give them a taste. Yeah, that's that's a good point. That's a good point. I guess it's just a question of how planned out is the plan, or how smart are they to deal with said plan. They don't have a very good history at the moment of consistency. Like mm, yeah, like the slow car chase in the middle of Tatooine. You know, the one that goes feel feels like it goes for 4 hours, but it's like 30 seconds. It's like they may as well have been all been on push bikes, and it might have been more realistic. Uh, I like I just like the Mandalorian stuff. I kind of got Boba Fett. That I don't know what it is about Star Wars, but they're like getting really good at saying we're going to do a series about this character, and you guys are going to be blown away at how much we're going to reduce them to being like, let's do one episode where someone's like really powerful, and then let's do a series about them where we take away all that power. And then we tantalize you. We tantalize you. We say, we're going to make you think that they're going to get powerful at some stage. And we're not going to tell you what happens in the next episode. And then the next episode is just like the previous episode. And you're left. Yeah, but you don't. You do that with a character that's being introduced, not a character that's well known. You don't go, "Oh, here's a guy who's like what 60 years old, and we're going to start him off at the beginning again somehow." It's just like, I mean, like if they'd given him amnesia, they have a better chance of being realistic. But yeah, I mean, they're just yeah. I mean, I Uh, his ineptitude when it pertained to anything strategic. So it's just like, we're going to stay here and bog down. I think we should go somewhere else. We should go somewhere else. Let's do like the Fennec. Yeah, well, the Fennec is like she's the voice of reason when she didn't need to be. He should be his own. Like, and then he's like, I'm going to be a good person now. and you're supposed to have this backstory about him with the Sand People, which is a way of inspiring him to be a good person. But it's like the Sand People. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I no, I thought it was good. It was just how that translates to a major change in his character. But even then, he's like the like he. Oh man, I just some of the choices just defied belief. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get some street rats to be our go-to minions, but they're not going to look like street rats. They're going to look like rich kids with bikes. Rich kids with bikes. Yeah, who can't afford water. Uh, yeah, but you don't bring down Boba Fett to make Fennec better. Fennec's already been established as a good character in like the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett's been established as a good character in other movies. You don't suddenly make Boba Fett need defending all the time by street rats and Fennec. Like the scene where he's in his bacta tank and the the Wookiee picks him up and there's the naked fight, and then the oh god. And this is the thing. This is what hurts me is that you have so many creative choices. You're given, this. Yeah, there's so many creative choices you can go through, and your choice is to have him pulled out of his back to tank by the Wookiee, and the Wookiee then tries to kill him. And it's just like, who comes up with that line of reasoning? It's just like he could have just shot him in the tank. He could have collapsed the tank. He could have just, I don't know, turned off the air in the tank. He didn't need to do any of that. Fight scene was unnecessary in that situation. It was just like, and how did he get in there? He's a really good fighter, yeah, but he's not smart enough on how to actually kill the person that he's supposed to be there. And then the other people come in. It's just, there's so many flaws in reasoning in these things. It's like they've come up with a fight scene and then have to come up with some type of plot device to get there. And it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, even if they came up with the idea that, say, okay, we don't have a lot of money, we don't have a budget, but we do have this set piece which is in the back to tank. So we've got to have the fight there. Okay, that's fine. But don't have him in the back to tank, getting pulled out of the back to tank to fight. Maybe when he's getting ready to go in, or he's getting prepared to go in, and there's a sense of something in the air, and there's a fight from that. It's like the timing is different. But not have him pulled out of the back to tank just to have a fight scene. It just doesn't make any sense. I know, but I do. The thing is that I'm not even like looking at this going, oh, it better be the best Star Wars I've ever seen. Can't wait for this. It's like stuff that you watch and you're like, there's something off. There's something off with that. There's some. Hang on a sec. Like, why did he pull him out of the tank? It's just, oh man. Sorry. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. But even then, but he's bright enough to break into a heavily guarded fortress by street rats. And oh man, it just like every time I just try to think about it, it's just like it hurts my head more. Well, that was just a really perfect example of a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, but yeah, it was also just that he's supposed to be a badass, but he can't make reasoned decisions about anything that makes any. It just it's yeah. But no, but that's bumbling is not what you want your lead protagonist to be. Uh, but so, but but he was in movies. He like what was there was a like when he first was identified as a good actor that got parts and stuff. He was in a New Zealand film that was I can't remember what it was, but it was like about male aggression, a certain culture that exists in New Zealand, and it was like he was a really aggressive, full on individual. Like he was not, but look, but the thing is they tried to make him cunning in the film in the series. Like they tried to make him appear cunning. That was I think that they tried to make him cunning, and they couldn't come up with cunning plans. It's like they watched I don't know Roadrunner cartoons and thought that all of those plans that Wile E. Coyote came up with were actually cunning plans, and they thought those are the types of plans we want for this guy. True, I think that that's part of the problem. I think that you can make things dark without, like, you know, what? Sorry, looks. Yeah, the trailer looks good. Appar- Apparently, they didn't use the special soundstage. I've forgotten what it's called. I'm doing too much of this, by the way. That's called the volume on sets. Yeah, locations. Yeah. No, I thought it looks good. Yeah, true. Well, yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to do that, don't do Boba Fett. We're going to reintroduce you to the one of the most well loved dark characters, and we're going to Disneyfy it. It's just like, but I mean, they didn't like it was lighter than the Mandalorian. I mean, I just don't think it's the Disneyfication. I think it's someone who's being told that they need to do it lighter and can't come up with lighter. Well, then they should get a different writer. I mean, there's plenty of people. Sorry, people's yeah, people still manage it. There are people who still manage it. That it's the yeah. They had a massive budget though as well. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, look at Stranger Things, and maybe it's because they've had more time with Stranger Things, but that's pretty good writing wise. They've got interesting things that they do with the shots. Um, with the narrative, the way they play with different characters. You know, it's like when they do Star Wars, they lose all sense of creativity on how to place their shots and how to make things interesting. It's like cookie cutter stuff. I didn't find anything distinctly memorable, but maybe I mean, but how could it be shot really well when they have the slow motion car chase? Oh, apparently they can't hear you on Twitch, man. Yeah, they're just listening to my sonorous voice. I don't know. I'm not listening to Twitch. I have it muted. Let's have a look. Speak up. I'm listening on the thing now. There's got to be a delay in that too. Yeah, you're quiet, man. Yeah. You're completely quiet. So people have just heard me responding to talking about the Book of Boba Fett. Right. And by people, I mean we have 3 people. Apart from Dodes, have we got bots in here? I'd like to welcome our lovely bot audience. It says 3 viewers. I don't believe you. I don't believe. Well, maybe. How do you see who's viewing it? Hello.
1, 2. Ah, here we go. Is that better?
You're coming through, but you're a little bit soft in comparison to me.
Okay, let me bump it. 1, 2. Is that better?
Yep, I am. I didn't realize that there was so much echo in my voice.
Because the problem is, because I'm streaming, I can't send it. Otherwise, it'll just like loop around. So I couldn't actually test it. So we have to start again. Hello, I'm Derek.
Hello.
This is Peter, and we've been talking one-sidedly for the last 10 minutes about what they're doing with the Star Wars TV shows. And we're about to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4, and they've done a good job. We were talking a lot about Boba Fett and how they kind of missed the mark. You may have heard Peter say that. I think we can agree that they sort of Disneyfied it. They tried to sort of make it more friendly for a children's audience. They took away the darkness and the power of the original Boba Fett character, and they made him a caricature.
Yeah, caricature, caricature.
Was there anything redeeming for you about Boba Fett, though?
Sorry, I'm gonna mute Twitch. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, you can mute it. It's working now, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Is there anything redeeming about it? The 2 episodes that had nothing to do with the Book of Boba Fett were really good.
With Mando.
I enjoyed those, yeah.
So they can write Mando well because he's a completely blank slate. Like there's nothing that they have, there's no obligation, there's no preconceived expectations about the character. What's that?
It's a Mando head.
Oh,
I just wanted to cover up my eye. No, I got it as a gift. One sec.
What was that? Oh, you're trying to get rid of the eye. All right. We're professionals. We're professionals.
Hello. It's lovely to see you again.
Good to see you.
I'm doing this because I'll be watching it here, but I'll need to look over here every now and then to talk.
All right.
And I think it's probably better that way.
Do you want to just get started?
Man, I reckon our audience is chomping at the bit.
Okay, ready.
Because they've already heard a one-sided conversation about how much I love the Book of Boba Fett.
Well, let's just quickly talk about Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Love that they got James Earl Jones back. Oh my gosh, that was like chills down the spine to hear his voice, his sweet, sweet black voice again.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, look, we got someone. Want to become someone famous? Buy followers, primes and viewers on mountviewers.com.
Where's that? How come I can't see my thing anymore?
In the chat.
Oh, there it is. Oh, want to become famous? Buy followers, prime. I'll do that right now.
Check it out.
No, actually, no, I'm not going to.
Thank you. We'll check it out. Yeah, love that James Earl Jones back. Ewan McGregor. Sorry.
That's a bot, just by the way.
Yeah, it's all good. But Ewan McGregor, I love the fact that he's. I spoke to you earlier about this, but he's really snappy with Leia about certain topics. Like he says, "Not everyone's good, Leia," and he just shuts her down. So you can see from those mannerisms that he's traumatized by what happened with Anakin. And
yeah, that's right. I thought I was a bit shocked at that outburst. It was a little bit sort of. I mean, to be honest with you, if I had a 10-year-old kid like her hanging around as long as she was, talking the way that she was, I probably would snap at her like that, like without helping it. Just like, just shut up.
It was the kind of energy of that. Hey, just screaming at her.
It was, yeah. It's just like. And she's just like, she's used to the abuse.
Oh shit! Chris hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. So, do you have a? So you can afford plus for a month. So, are you going? You might want to tune out then as we watch this, and then we'll have an audience of 2 bots.
Oh no!
Not that I mind bots, but. Yeah.
But he did watch Boba Fett though, didn't he?
I don't think he did. Let's get to home anyway. I don't think he has watched it.
Oh, he's not into it.
I think I think you've avoided anything to do with Star Wars since Rise of the Skywalker, that wondrous film.
Oh right, okay. So he hasn't even seen it. No Boba. Only 2 seasons of Mando.
Well, the last season of Mando was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker, hey? That was...
Yeah, I remember talking... When after I'd seen it, I said... I was talking to him about it, and I said, oh, it wasn't that bad. And... I think it must be that bad because I can't bring myself to watch it. Like, I actively avoid The Last Jedi because I just hated it so much and what it did. But then Rise of Skywalker, I can't watch it because it doesn't even feel like it. It doesn't even seem like a movie to me.
It got further away from canon, didn't it?
Yeah, I actually, upon reflection, there was one thing about that had a good idea that got lost in everything. All the crap that just got heaped upon it. Boba Fett it starts off for like first 2 episodes I think are good in Book of Boba Fett. Starts to go off the rails. Then there's the 2 Mandalorian episodes, which are great, which is the 4th and the 5th, I think.
You kind of want to see Mando season 3. Is it 3 seasons, Amanda, already?
Yeah, you'll have to watch Mandalorian season 3, and then... Oh, hang on, is it 2? What are we in?
I'm not sure. Maybe it is only 2 seasons, Amanda.
Maybe it is, yeah. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But,
Sigh.
yeah, there's... No, I think you're right. I think it is only 2 seasons. But there's Mandalorian seasons 2.5 in Book of Boba, which is like 2 episodes, which is really good.
Yeah, season 2 reintroduces Boba, so yeah, it is the second season. So he's all up to date. It's worth it for those 2 episodes, even in the finale, I would say.
You literally could skip the Book of Boba Fett, except for those 2 episodes, which are worth seeing, I think.
I like the end. The end was great. It had Mando.
Yeah. I think it just, when it went back to that planet and some of the stupid characters were reintroduced, you had to suffer through them again, like the street rat, the rich kids.
Nice special effects,
rich kids.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how much they were rich kids talking about how they couldn't afford water.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I get it. It's on a planet that, water would be a valuable resource, but
where did they get the money for the bikes and all this stuff?
They must have sold the water afterwards. Sold the water they stole.
Stupid Disney.
So dumb.
What's your show? Hopefully see you all later. Thanks, Chris. Good to see you, man.
See you, bro. Have a good one. All right.
So we lost
anyway,
one viewer.
One viewer. Yep. Let's get. Shall we go?
Okay.
No, and if there.
Did you want to say anything about Obi-Wan before we start?
I got to go to the bathroom.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
You can keep talking.
You can
tell them about the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. Okay. So it actually starts off when with where the prequels ended. Oh gosh, I'm getting echo. I've got to mute. So where the prequels ended, and we see Obi-Wan taking the high ground and defeating Anakin. And then you see the birth of the twins and where they're, the plans that they're going to head them. And so it sets it up immediately about where the story is going. It's focusing on the kids and Obi-Wan and his journey after Anakin turns into Darth Vader. But we only sort of filling in the gaps with all of that because there's a 20-year gap between the prequels and the actual A New Hope. So this is filling in all the gaps of what happened. So we get to see young Luke. This is so it's set 10 years after the prequels. And it starts off on Tatooine. We see young Luke and Obi-Wan, what he's been up to, and it introduces the idea that was sort of brought up in the Clone Wars animated films about the gosh, I can't even remember what they're called. The interceptors, I'm gonna say. Anyway, they're hunting Jedi, and it sets them up as the big bad. So we see that immediately in episode 1. But there's 4 of them basically, and the story progresses along. So episode 2, we see the introduction of Leia. She runs away from home and she gets kidnapped, and the parents reach out to Obi-Wan to rescue her, and he's reluctant at first, but in the end he actually has a physical visit from the father saying that he's the only one he trusts, even though it's been 10 years, and he's very reluctant because of what he's been through, and he's given up his Jedi ways. He's sort of got this PTSD going, Welcome back. I was just talking. I was trying to recap. What are the guys that are hunting the Jedi? What are they called? I forgot the name. Inquisitors. I said Interceptor. Couldn't remember for the life of me. But I love how they set those up. That was great. And but they killed off the guy. They killed off the main one. Why? That was really heartbreaking. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, Rebels is after this? Hmm. All right. I thought Clone Wars was definitely before this, though. Like, um, but I remember the Inquisitor showing up. I seen little bits of him. And where was Ahsoka? What was she from? What was that series? Uh, all right. But in terms of this series, like they introduced this amazing actor who can really see the evil of the Inquisitors. And in contrast, they've got this sort of newish actress, Moses. She can't really pull it off. I don't feel like she doesn't see that evil. She tries to, but I don't think she really has the experience to draw on to like really sell it. And then she ends up killing the real actor who can actually do it. I don't know. That's a shame to me. Yeah, to me she did, because it was like, you're never going to see him again. Fucking hell. He was the best thing about it. Um, yeah, I am one of them. I Well, have you heard any of the theories? She was one of the younglings that was. Do you, is she actually there? Hmm. Hmm. Did you notice that, or did you just see that from YouTube? I didn't notice it. Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. Me too. I didn't click on it, but they put them in the thumbnails, man. You can't do it. But I was disappointed in her, like her, just how she pulled it off. Like, because I really compare her to in Boba Fett, the what's the woman's name again? The sidekick, Fennec. I really compare her to that actress, and she is amazing compared to her, to this Moses. Like, just the depth of her expressions, and you really need that to sell a villain. You need. It's just this blank. I mean, the Asian guy in this is better than her. I think they gave him some weird lines there. It was like, we'll never find them now. It's like, oh god, dude. Oh, here's a question I have for you. Sorry. When Darth Vader comes in, what did you think of the line where he goes, "You should have killed me when you had the chance"? Because it felt like they were forcefully putting George Lucas-y type lines in there to make it. No. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Anyway, this stream is dead. I think I had you on mute. Oh man.
Really?
Yeah. When you went to the bathroom, I was getting echo and I had to mute you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I thought
realised.
you were going to say that you heard like ping sounds coming through.
No.
Dan, this is awesome.
This is an awesome stream.
Shall we start? No, actually,
you were going to say something. Sorry.
I want to listen back to this stuff. I want to listen back to this stuff because this isn't for anyone else.
We're definitely off our game there. But what were you going to say about?
What was I going to say?
We were talking about Moses, and I was just saying she's got to emote. She's got to emote. She can't.
She was emoting. Which one of you?
It was it's very one dimensional, eh? Whereas the Inquisitor, what's his name? Rupert Friend. He was almost Jokerish, the first one.
Oh yeah, the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, loved it.
He was good. He was good. He was. I think that's the thing is, if you have have to have like, some people sort of get into character, and I don't know whether she might be in character for the character that we don't know what she's in character for being characteristic of. I think that's one of the problems. Actually, I was thinking about this. One of the problems with Star Wars series that are out now is that there's so much speculation that comes out after every episode, and the negativity is so significant in that fan base. I almost think that they need to release seasons just in full.
So you can get the full picture.
Yeah, because anytime there's a question that's not being answered, they think it's them screwing up again, and it might not be. You know, every episode has to be completely pulled apart and analyzed and interrogated, and I think that they like that occurring, but I mean, it opens up so many cans of worms that they then need to say, well, wait up, guys, let it finish, let it play out. It's only 6 episodes. It's just like, you know, I think, you know, like Netflix released all the Stranger Things, the whole series, so you're not left, you're going straight on. Like, if you're invested enough, you might overlook anything that might have a question about it because you're going straight into the next episode because you're invested.
I think it's a better model, isn't it? Like, the days of where we're watching ads are over. We're paying for the content already. Why not just release it all in one go like Netflix does? They've got the binge model, you know?
I think some series have the binge model and some series don't. Did The Witcher all come out at once?
I didn't watch The Witcher. Game of Thrones definitely did not. You had to wait every week. But that was on HBO, so I don't know what the deal is.
I think and Game of Thrones was successful for that. But it didn't have the investment like it does. And that's the thing. Star Wars like anyone who read, like if it's based on Game of Thrones, you've either read the books and generally know where it's going. So, like, people who've read the books are going, "Oh, wait till the Red Wedding," and but
you
you're
read the
not
books
left
before?
going. No.
So you had no idea what was happening.
I had a vague idea.
Yeah.
I noted as soon as I figured out it was going to be a series of where characters you like might end up dead after 5 seasons. I was just like, oh, I really want to know if this person's going to die. I don't want to get emotionally invested in this.
So did you skip ahead? Did you look at wikis and things?
Just for some of the characters, like Tyrion, it's like, okay, so does Tyrion die? It's like, oh no, he's still alive in the book. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, with these series, because there's so much lore surrounding it, and they're new stories, and there's so much writing on every episode, I think it's probably better to release them in bulk and let people binge them.
With this one, though, this is a little bit different because it's set between the two trilogies, really, and it fills a huge amount of gaps in there. Like we're seeing young Leia, young Luke. What happened with Owen, Darth Vader himself.
But that's the thing. Like, if you're going to do that, like they've started the series with like some huge potential plot holes that they have to fill, and Star Wars hasn't, and the studios haven't been very good at filling plot holes once they create them. Not that they're necessarily plot holes; they might fully intend to fill them in, but everyone's been burnt by the sequel trilogies. So you've got so the big plot hole here is that Obi-Wan is like, he's not skilled. He's not in touch with the Force. He's not touching a lightsaber. He's avoidant. He defers to a 10-year-old girl. So there's a lot of, where's the old wise guy that you get in A New Hope? And then you've got, he has a fight with Darth Vader and loses, and people are going, and then like every sentence then is questioned in A New Hope. So what you don't want to do is, whatever you do, is if you're doing a series that's a prequel to one of the most well-loved series of all time, you got to be kind of careful about anything that people will start to question as a plot hole. So when he loses, and then you got the quote from Star Wars where, when I left you, I was but the learner, now I am the master.
Yeah.
All right, there's a plot hole that now needs to be filled. And are we going to get it filled? Well, now we have to find out. And if we do find out, we'll be like, whew. And if we don't, it'll be, yeah.
But some of that stuff, it's never going to be filled, is it? Because it's already, yeah. Like, it's like how they came up with the whole thing of 3PO being made by Anakin. It was never the case when he originally made the New Hope that Darth Vader made 3PO. It's never in his mind that actually happened, but that's what happened. And now it's like, okay, we all fucking believe this. But it's like that line, I was the master, that was just a cool line to throw into a movie.
Yeah, but all of that stuff, that you can't have your cake in it. Like, you can't.
It's almost you have to look at
leverage all this. We're not going to leverage. You can't leverage Star Wars to make a lot of money and then not respect the product that you're leveraging off.
But it's almost like you have to look at this stuff as non-canon. Even though it's cool to see these characters, you can't expect there to be any links because it's just like it's deviated far from.
But has it, like, if you just count the sequel trilogy, how far has it really deviated?
Well, like with the introduction of the Inquisitors and stuff, they weren't in the original thing. That they were from a series that was made by Lucas.
Yeah.
And then like you don't hear about the Inquisitors ever in the sequels, but you would honestly hear about them, right? If that was a huge part of Obi-Wan's story.
If you're introducing something like that can be taken out, because like there is a level of license that you can play with to remove them before you get to A New Hope. Like, yes, like when I first heard about the concept of Inquisitors, I was like, where the hell did these guys come from? What the hell's that all about? But you do have quite a length of time to have them be introduced and then removed.
But in my mind, like what happened after 3 is that he banished himself to Tatooine. There's no way he got off Tatooine and did all this with Leia, that sort of thing.
Well, like, I mean, that's why I actually thought that's actually where I thought Obi-Wan, they did it. They were smart about it, because introducing the idea of Leia as the person that he needs to save keeps the connection of the through line of these children are important. But it takes Luke out of the picture and Tatooine out of the picture, which is what's critical, because the whole thing is he's supposed to protect Luke, and Luke is kept sheltered, and so the only way you can do that is have to come up with a way of getting him away from Tatooine. So I actually think the idea of introducing Leia is a good idea.
It's a good idea, but like, do you really think that's what you expected would have happened between?
No, it wasn't at all. But I wasn't expecting it at all. But I do not mind that they did that. The stuff that I mind is when you get to the next series and they haven't closed all the loops they've created. And the problem is, and that's the challenge for them, is to, okay, if you're going to create these new stories, then you have to deal with the fact that you have a problem that you need to be mindful of, which is as soon as you introduce a new concept, you have to close off that concept.
But let's say they don't. Let's say they Game of Thrones it.
Game
of Thrones sort of tried to close it all off, but they couldn't even get there.
I think that the way Game of Thrones did it was... I just think that they needed to give it more time to justify the changes that they put in place. I think
they were working on a Star Wars thing, weren't they? Didn't they cut it short to work on something for Star Wars, but that fell through?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think they're doing, from what I've heard, it's the 3-body problem with Netflix, I think.
Oh, okay.
Which is a science fiction, a true science fiction book series, not science fantasy. It's very interesting. I've read the books. It's very interesting. Very interesting concepts.
What's
it's actually Chinese author. It's about why are we alone, or are we alone in the universe, and why haven't we encountered other life in the universe. It's really, really good. It's not a story about connecting with characters so much as exploring ideas, and that's what a lot of hardcore science fiction novels do, and it does that. And it does it in a way that makes you look at the universe in a completely new light, and every book opens up a new can of worms to think about, and it's amazing in what it does. Just, I don't want to go into it, because if you ever get the chance to,
I probably will watch the series once they finish it. Sounds like it will be good.
It's really fascinating and terrifying as well.
Chinese
Yeah, it's terrifying in a Lovecraftian sense, not in a horror spooky monster sense, as in the existential dread. It's very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, but bringing back to this, I don't know if they will close it off like you expect them to, is what I'm trying to say.
Look, I'm not expecting to be pleasantly surprised.
It won't be a neat little bow. Especially if there's another season hanging out there.
It shouldn't be that hard a thing to do, is what surprises me. I mean, there aren't, like, I can see the stuff that they've introduced. It doesn't have to crap on the movies that come after it. It doesn't have to. You make sure all the Inquisitors are dead by the end of it. Or probably what would be even better is if Vader and the Emperor decide that the Inquisitors are a bad idea and just wipe them out. Like, they use the Inquisitors to help them wipe out the Jedi, and then once they consider that to be mission accomplished, they then just kill the rest of them, because that would be in line with the idea of the Sith and the dark side.
Yeah,
like that's a way to tie it off with a nice little bow.
What's the go with Maul? He came back to life.
In Rebels, they brought him. I think it was Rebels. No, it was in Clone Wars. They brought him back to life. Yeah.
So he could make an appearance as well.
Yeah, just as he was essentially an antagonist to Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars.
That's what I was wondering, if he was going to pop up here.
They close his arc off in Rebels, and one of the best, what some people consider to be one of the best lightsaber fights, occurs between Obi-Wan on Tatooine with Darth Maul.
Before this, though. Before the third movie.
This is after this.
Oh, this is after.
Yeah.
Clone is after.
No, Clone's before. Rebels is after.
Oh, Rebels is where the fight happened with Maul.
Yeah, I know, because the Darth Maul is in Clone Wars and in Rebels.
Oh, right. Okay, so it's still a possibility then.
There's quite a lore there. I think so. I mean, I haven't even watched all of Rebels, or I think I've watched all of Clone Wars. Some of the stuff that they like, some of the early, some of the Clone Wars are still kitschy as hell. Some bad dialogue and bad voice acting sometimes, and
there's so much of it. There was like years of series of that.
Oh yeah, it was that for ages. But like the last, like some of the last series, like some of the episodes that they have done in Clone Wars is very good. And I was surprised at the start of Rebels. I thought it would be pretty rubbish, but it wasn't. I didn't really like the animation in it, but it was. Yeah, it was good. And then I have seen some of the episodes with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, and I can see why people raved about it. It's not what you expect it to be as a lightsaber fight, but it's amazing that there was actually a lot of depth to that fight. It's very interesting. So yeah, there's been a lot that's gone into it, and I think that some of the closest stuff to Star Wars has been the stuff that Dave Filoni has done in The Mandalorian.
He wasn't that involved in this one. They thanked him in the credits, but I didn't see any other mention
of Boba Fett or Obi-Wan.
In here, in this, they said thanks, Dave Filoni.
Yeah, I think they regard him as sort of like the lore master.
I wonder.
He's like the sub George Lucas.
Did he have any input there? I wonder, like actual.
Oh, he would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there isn't much that passes through Star Wars now that doesn't go by him.
Oh, that's good.
He's sort of like the go-to guy. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So
him and John Favreau.
Yeah, Johnny.
Well,
Johnny boy.
Jon Favreau was the one that wrote a lot of Book of Boba.
Did he?
Yeah.
I
think so.
Went a little astray with that one.
Yeah, I think he spent a weekend writing the episodes.
Just a weekend, eh?
Yeah, and then
He's
he
a
got
busy
his
guy. I mean,
then he got
he's
his
done amazing
16-year-old
stuff with the Mando.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of which,
go.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready? 1,
So,
2, 3.
3, go. This is very tough to come to. No one is coming. That was the other thing about that. Was like he just defeated like 5 stormtroopers, and then 3 turn up, and he says, "Oh, I give up." It's just like, what? Just things like that. So they didn't like. It could have been more than that. That was cool. The Darth Vader walking down and just killing people at random.
What was cool? Sorry, I gotta fix my levels.
When he was walking down the village street and just
and he
wiping
just executes
out
people.
villagers.
Yeah.
How did she get to Leia?
I thought it was a single tunnel, eh?
That's what I thought.
Must have been a network of tunnels.
Maybe she just ran past her and said, "I'll catch up with you."
See ya.
I'll see you in a sec. Yeah. You never know. Maybe Leia stopped to take a pee break halfway through.
So did John Williams write this new theme?
I heard that he wrote the theme, yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They sort of pay homage to his work here. It's a very Williamsy score.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I honestly thought he'd have more injuries than he did.
Looked pretty rough, eh?
Ben, why didn't you tell me?
This load of characters is cool. I like what they did with that.
Fast forward 10 years.
Oh, in the back to tank. Here's your favourite thing, man.
Yeah, perfect. Let's see if they do the whole flashback thing with this as well. There's nothing better than a back to tank flashback. Yeah, there we go. The interplay between Vader and
wow. I like the makeup, hey? Holy crap, he looks great. Anakin.
My text is out. My audio is out of alignment.
Oh no. What do you want to do?
I don't know. Alright, pause in
1,
3,
2,
2, 1. Pause.
Pause. What scene are you up to?
The doors just opened up, and your favorite antagonist is in the doorway.
Yeah. Ready?
Oh man, this is working really. Let me see if they.
I liked Leia's character. She could really act.
Yeah. Okay. Play in 3, 2, 1. Play.
Right. Better?
Yeah. How did she know that? Who's Obi-Wan? She's never heard the name before. He called himself Ben the whole time.
No, it was the woman called her Obi-Wan.
Sure. Oh, that was quick.
That's a quick turnaround.
I wasn't particularly convinced of that.
This is classic Star Wars, man.
Oh, there's Massa from the Matrix. Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh my god, they're gonna have him on a speeder. That's cool.
Oh. Can we... I don't know what's wrong with my thing, though. It's slowly desyncing all the time.
Do you want to pause?
Son of a gun. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, pause.
They're just in front of that planet.
Okay. I don't know why it's doing this. Do you think if it was on a different... Like if I was watching it on something other than Chrome? Oh no, I just opened the wrong bloody program. I meant to open...
So those speeder bikes will work on water, will they? Like hoverboards?
I guess so.
You got power.
Those boats don't work on water. You've got power.
It's cool because Flea, isn't it?
Was it Flea? What was
Flea was the kidnapper. He was the one that said you got to have power.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I wondered where I recognized him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Those speeders don't work on water.
McFly, you Bozo! The Bozo will go order! I'm gonna try it on this and let's see if it works. Hopefully it has better codecs.
How much Disney? It was pretty cheap when you got it. Is it still cheap?
It's 119
a year. Still pretty cheap.
My damn, everything has gone wackadoo. Sorry, everyone. This is so annoying. I'm not having any luck at the moment. This is not the first time that this has happened as well.
Oh, your stuff goes out of sync?
Yeah. Alright, let's go back to... Let's close that down. Alright, let's hope that this runs better.
What are you going to try? Firefox?
Alright. Yeah. No, the Microsoft one.
Oh, Edge. Okay.
Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Play.
Is this thing moving on a magnet?
Yeah.
I mean the Force.
Oh, he's lost all his force power. How does she know so much? Why do they have to introduce these characters that no one knows, has any connection to, but they're always wise? Whether they're a 10-year-old girl or a
it's just a vehicle
character.
For dialogue, man.
Yeah.
They should have a narrator, I think.
Obi-Wan's stuff.
Everyone needed time to heal. Did you recognize the name that Obi-Wan said? Oh, this guy was there.
Quinlan Voss.
You do recognize.
I didn't really know. Why don't you just read her mind? Or is that what she's going to do?
Could be. This gives me Interstellar vibes. You know, that planet with just water?
Oh, yeah.
Hear the theme? It's so imperial, hey.
It is. This doesn't sound like John Williams, though.
No, it's not. But they're using similar orchestration.
I'm just. That's a dopey photo. Don't look too nervous.
It's alright, suspense though.
I'm in.
The attention to all the detail is great with all these little, the com links and it's all the original stuff.
It's like, oh, he's having a swim. There you go. He's getting his exercise on. Is he going to be going past the windows?
Hello.
Then he dies from the pressure changes in the atmosphere.
He gets the bend. Not too much nitrogen in his bloodstream. That's how Obi-Wan ends.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's very Star Wars. That's more like it. Oh, left him floating. Oh, there we go. There's the line.
It's been ages since we've seen people using the Force, hey? It's kind of cool.
I'm gonna need to pause it for a sec again. Didn't work.
Didn't work? Ready?
3, 2, 1. Pause.
That's a bummer.
We're fine. Yeah, we're finally getting into actually some. This is the real Riva.
The real what?
This
is her backstory.
This is her.
But is there emotional investment there? I don't feel it.
I know I haven't had much of a chance yet to. I don't understand this desynchronization stuff. What is it? What's going on? Just gonna have a quick look because it works fine on other media.
Yeah, I guess making villains is hard, eh?
How to remove audio lag from live streaming. What is live streaming? Live streaming is when your audio is not synchronized with video. Typical audio lag can be a small few hundred milliseconds.
Oh, you think it's because
Yeah.
you're streaming? Because you're...
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't download it, so.
Do you have an option in
Oh
Disney
no,
to...
not streaming. Not live streaming.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Just normal streaming.
what do you call it? Just streaming movie audio lag.
Oh, we lost a viewer. Someone was.
What?
Someone was watching. Whoops! I got a new audio device.
I apologize.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I know who it was.
Who?
It was me.
Oh, you closed it.
That was me.
That's funny.
I was talking to myself this whole time. So does that mean that you're the other one?
Yeah.
We aren't even good enough to get bots.
Well, it is meant to be a video game stream. We're just streaming, just chatting.
I watch you at YouTube, Netflix, or anything. Same goes for Chrome. On Firefox, all is just fine. Also watching videos. This area occurs only on Edge and Chrome.
Oh, it's both. What else? What are the other options? Firefox?
I don't have any on here, so I've just managed to pick two of the ones that...
But does Disney let you download it? Like you can buffer it?
I don't
like an offline mode?
Let's have a look. Try Group Watch.
Oh, is it Group Watch? That's cool.
No, it doesn't look like it.
It's not too bad. That was a pretty good run. We got about, 5 minutes before we had to do it again.
Yeah, but that was at the point where I got so sick of the desync. Right,
how long is this episode? Is it only...
Well, it's certainly not as long as the stream has been going for. I'm going to download Firefox and see if it works.
Seems like a short episode, isn't it? 36 minutes?
That is a short episode. 25 minutes remaining on mine.
Yeah. We can push through. It's not that long. Oh, you're going to download Firefox, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be... Well, I don't know anymore about how big files are these days. These days I'm too old for this shit.
That's weird. It's super short.
I thought... Yeah, it is quite... well, part 2 is 42 minutes. Part 3 is 48. This is 48? The shortest of all. Part 3 was 48 minutes.
Oh, right. Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Part 2 was 42 minutes.
I guess they packed a lot in.
Ran out of budget.
But
it'd be funny if it gets to like gets to 39 minutes and it just cuts out.
Oh, God. Didn't say that. Boba Fett, the last episode, I just watched it the other week. That was an hour.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to get the narrative right for the episodes. All right, let's see if this one works better. It does actually seem to be running faster. Much faster.
Oh, that's good. Firefox then, eh?
What does it mean if some of your... Maybe it's we couldn't find an account for that email. This looks to me moving a lot faster in terms of processing, so I'm hoping that will translate through to the film. You know what I've been watching a bit of since Simon comes over, and we watch Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, is it good?
The first Winnie the Pooh animation from like 1979. Yeah, it is. It's really good. Really good.
79. Okay, I didn't.
I think it's 79. Yeah.
It's a movie.
Yeah. There's like a television series as well, but as soon as I turned it on and I heard the music, I couldn't watch anymore.
Why?
Uh,
Bad.
just very 1980s music. It was just like non-orchestral. You know, we're going down the road again with all our friends. We need the Pooh and friends.
Really? What the hell? That's bad.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't get through 5 seconds. Like, I turned it on, and Simon was about to watch it, and then I heard that. I was just like, no, let's watch the movie again. All right, I'm ready to go.
We need the Pooh and friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn on
the Disney show was actually really good. I remember watching that as a kid.
I closed the chat down, didn't I? Bugger. Twitch. Twitch, so we can have another viewer, just in case. I was fine. It's just so hilarious that there it is. 0 views.
Want to become famous? By followers, primes, and viewers.
Oh, have you stopped it?
No. Still going.
Huh? That's interesting. Am I looking at the wrong one? No.
Still going. Should be.
Streaming live now, yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, back to no one. Welcome to the chat room. Oh, I can't actually send a message.
Can't you?
All right. I haven't logged in.
Oh.
You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, play. Everyone keeps asking for identification. I reckon it should be like something else. You know, like something they're doing The Mandalorian is just like have a bit of chit chat. I think it'd be more interesting.
She's taking him out though.
Yeah. She's still hitting him. Man, there's so many necks being broken in this series. Do you hear the crack sound all the time?
Yeah.
Everyone finds it really easy to snap necks. And... oh, yeah. Good place to leave a dead body. Just around the... Man, these are like the most on-edge guards in existence. Have they been warned?
You got to use the Force again, though.
Yeah, I think it went in the wrong direction to where he wanted it to go, though. There was a guy sitting next to her. There's still...
Yeah, there were 2 guys.
They must really enjoy their work. There's a
They nailed the casting of her. Hey, she looks a lot like Carrie. Sometimes.
There's a delay again.
Is it delay? You want to pause?
No. Yeah. Okay. Right. Just pause.
What are you up to?
So I am at 1818.
Okay. You see the big room?
I'm seeing the big door.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Ready? Playing again now. I think the whole watch party idea is not working out. It's more for the fun of it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's working well.
Well, good thing she's screaming out.
Ooh, mysteries. It's One-Eyed Willie. It's a Jar Jar. No.
why would they ask that? Why are people?
What's that, dude? She's a double agent.
Oh, well, Obi-Wan just got her killed. I like the floating stormtrooper bodies. Sorry?
I like the floating stormtrooper bodies.
I'm I'm slightly behind you.
Oh, are you? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's hilarious. That's awesome.
Do you want to stop?
No. Just pause for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I just did.
Pause. Okay, go. How's it? With all the suspicious people, they've been so suspicious up until this point. Now that everyone should be suspicious, there's a guy walking with a little kid under his coat.
Oh.
I must admit, I'm not a big fan of the way that they've mixed the music in.
They what?
The music.
Yeah.
The way that the music has been mixed into it. Oh, he's dead. Oh no, Mouse is dead again.
Mouse?
I've forgotten what his name is. He looked like the guy from The Matrix.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, the guy who's
Yeah.
talking about tasty wheat.
Here we go.
It's in the little droid.
Yeah.
Well, she was playing with it, remember? And she didn't destroy it. Kenobi throws it out the window. You can't hold on to this droid anymore. Whip! how did? Oh man, I just trying not
it's
to be too critical.
starting to fall apart. I feel the same.
I was like, how did two speeders get into like one of the like a heavily defended?
Because she let them go, man. She let them go.
Oh right, okay, I forgot. Yeah. That's the thing. That's like you got to come up with a concept, and someone always says they always have to have, oh, at the last minute things look like they're at their darkest, and then two fighters come in and disrupt the whole thing, and like that. There's better chances for people to use the thing that's in front of them for their growth rather than. See, I told you. Red means bad.
I was a little bit ahead of you. I saw it before. What'd you think?
Oh yeah, it was okay.
Starting to fall apart though. Yeah. It's not as strong as the starting episodes. Is sort of textbook,
very typical.
Textbook
very
rescue typical. Episode, a la.
Yeah, it's like they've written. It's like someone's got a template for, and then they just, okay, now at this series we need to have the escape. This series we need to have the distraction. Okay, let's map this out. Okay, so we've got the rescue mission. We need distractions. We need escapes. We need fighters coming in the last second to save everyone.
But in saying that, Mando is very episodic like that. It had its own.
It was.
It did. I don't know why Mando is so good compared to.
I think that
there was less writing on it. I think because we didn't really expect anything.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, there's probably more freedom to be creative. I think. Yeah, there is one thing that I get a feeling for with all of this Star Wars stuff, and it's like it seems to me that everyone's getting their friends involved, like cameos, and it seems it's almost like people are getting. They're not recruiting based on talent as much as people who know people. I kind of get this vibe that they're all kind of.
I really think know each other. Like the pandemic fucked a lot of the industry up as well. Like I'm seeing a lot in computer games. Like there's just I'm a big Battlefield fan. They really fucked up the last Battlefield title, and then it's evident that there's like lack of talent. A lot of people are leaving big studios and big productions and things like that. So
they're sort of going into their own, doing their own thing, independent.
Yeah. So it's probably the same in the film industry, I would say.
A lot of the good directors. Well, I mean, yeah.
I liked how Darth Vader appeared. He's always got an amazing presence.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? As soon as he's there, everything sort of goes up a notch.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he's there, it's just, you failed me. It's like,
did you notice how they kept his dialogue like that there? It was like very Lucasy dialogue.
Well, you got to keep him somewhat consistent.
I like that they did though. Like they could have gone anyway with him.
It's true. Reva, you little bitch.
Yeah.
I didn't raise you from childhood. Have you failed me now? You were like a daughter to me. Unlike that Leia chick.
But it's important they keep it consistent. I don't know.
I wonder if they're going to do that. Vader raised third sister like a daughter on the dark side, and Leia is his real daughter. I hope they don't do that. But that would be a typical ironic moment that they've like been leading towards this whole time.
You reckon?
Well, I don't mean it's something I want to happen or that may happen, but it's something I don't want to happen. So it probably will happen.
Oh, God.
I raised you up. I rescued you when all the other kids were... so they're all dead, are they? They're all dead Jedi?
That was the other thing. Like, when they had all the tomb and there was this way too convenient just to show their faces like that. It was a very fast-forwarding way to... Yeah.
I can totally see in like a scary movie 27, one of those American sitcoms where they do that and it's the guy with a blunt or something like that. Caught in like the ultimate act of ultimate moment of... Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's taking shortcuts. Like, it's not...
There's stuff that they needed. There's stuff that, yeah. I mean, one thing is they've drawn too much of a focus on Leia. Like, okay, now they've made this whole thing about Leia being a traitor. She's a 10-year-old traitor now. So how are they going to get her back to being the senator's daughter? You know, it'll be, we'll keep an eye on you, you rambunctious youth. You have the mental capacity of a 50-year-old. I can read people's thoughts, but 10-year-old kids, they just... Oh, man, they just stop me dead. Probably can't keep a thought.
No, but that was her plan. That was her plan, man. There's a plan the whole time. That's what gets her out.
You just hear the actual thoughts that are going through. I wonder what ice cream tastes like. I wonder if they have any here.
Good thing.
I really love my droid.
Good thing Anakin's my father.
I hope they don't find out. I've intuited it from when I was a little child. I just knew Darth Vader was my daddy waddy.
But the thing that I don't know if you noticed, you probably did, when Yoda starts the intro, he says, I'm not sure if he said, I will teach you the ways that you can hear your old master, but it was something along those lines. He's going to learn to speak to Liam Neeson.
I'm expecting some taken lines. The next time he spends like a series with Liam Neeson developing his skills, and then the next time
of skills.
I have a series of very particular skills.
But Neeson will come back.
And look, the other thing as well is just there's so much of this that irritates me the way that it's shot. Is what I don't understand. You see like YouTube videos of people who do the lightsaber stuff and the edits and cuts, and some of them are like phenomenal. And then you watch this, and there's something awkward about every single hit where he blocks the thing. Is oh.
I didn't mind it too much.
Not too much, but like there's parts where it's just a little too. I don't know. It's like it weighs a ton. Everything's an effort.
I think it's meant to. I heard that the lightsaber is meant to be like a two-handed weapon because it's so heavy. I think you told me that. Maybe you told me.
Well, but I mean, they vary the weight of it depending on the series. Look at the prequel versus the actual versus the sequel. Sequel trilogy, I think they made it. The idea of it was that it was much heavier. The prequel, it was a weight that was like on par with probably a staff or something like that. But the original trilogy, I think it was probably somewhere in between the two.
It was not a bad battle. He was showing off his own skill. He did the old ricochet, the underhand thing.
They just, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it was all bad. It's just, I don't know, it could have been tighter. I think it could have been punchier.
I like
I just didn't feel punchier.
how they use the darkness and the lightsaber. They showed that off
Where they bring it out. Yeah, they do that quite a bit.
In the mining scene. I like that a lot. What did you think of that scene? Where Darth Vader...
I think the other thing is that I can literally watch I feel like I've got the Force. I can watch what's going to happen a minute before it actually happens. Just he's going into the mine, so there's going to be a dark scene with there it is. There's the lightsaber coming, and they're going to there he is again, and he's going to run. Yep, there he runs away. And the thing that surprised me was the lighting of the fire and just dragging Obi-Wan Kenobi in it, and his beautiful face was fine, but it was just his side was. I was thinking, just burn his face. He literally looks like his face is on fire, and then it's just oh man, have you noticed? I got a singe there, like there's a tearing. It's really hurt there. It really hurt there. Like it was really hot. Don't get me wrong, it was hot fire, really hot, but only there.
And then the back to tank heals it.
Oh, back to tank. Well, it wasn't completely, but it was healed enough.
Yeah.
But it was only. Oh man, that's really soft. It's just. I think they could have done at least half his face or something like that. Well, it looked like you watch it. It looks like he drags him face first through the thing, and he's screaming, and there's hot flames and all that stuff. Oh God! Damn that!
But they are restrained. Like they can't let old Ben have this hideous scar.
He gets to the back of the tank quickly enough. Yeah. It's not like Darth Vader was on fire and burnt up for quite a while before they got him into anything healing. Yeah. But everyone had a chance to heal up. I don't know why I'm so critical of this, but it's just. I think it's just not creative enough. I don't know what I feel like there's a process that they follow for writing this stuff, and it's not a creative process. I feel like they've been given limits. I think it was one writer. Sorry?
By Jeremy Patel.
But it's a different writer. Tony Gilroy, I think, was this one.
Oh, right. I didn't see it.
But it's a different writer all the time. But they all seem to suffer from the same tropes.
Yeah, I thought Deborah Chow wrote the other one. Okay, here it is. Written by Joby Harold and Hannah Friedman. Okay, completely new writers.
All right. But the thing is that different writers but the same story. Like it's just not that it's too tame. It's too tame. It's not creative. They're not creating creative scenarios. They're just creating the same scenario. Like, replace Leia with Grogu.
Yeah.
Except Grogu has snappier dialogue, but, apart from Grogu's lines, which are fantastic, Leia's can't really quite...
Grogu's lines are fantastic.
I was waiting for you to pick up. I think does he get it? And it's just not funny. I think it was just not funny. Just.
I like that Leia was stuck to her guns. He could have gone either way there.
Yeah, no. That was they are spending a lot of time trying to show the young Leia and her parallel with the Leia you see in A New Hope. But yeah, I don't know. There's just so many opportunities there. There's so many ways that you could have told this story, and it's just okay. We got to do the prison escape scene now, and we got to do the. It just, I think it's just you're expecting a bit more in terms of the creativity behind it.
To be honest, I didn't expect Leia at all. I expected a story about Luke, and some intrigue about him being found. Like they were getting close to finding him. I thought they were going to explore that more.
I think they kind of did a bit of that in Rebels.
Oh.
Or they did it even better. It was even better, if I remember rightly. In Rebels, like they didn't know, but Darth Maul turns up and is like, "Why are you here? This is like, what are you doing in this place? This is just nothing, unless like there's a reason you're here. You're protecting someone." And it's done. So I should. I mean, you're not going to watch all of the Rebels series, eh?
I've been planning to. I've got it. I just haven't got around to it.
Okay. Well, I was going to send you the snippet with that in it. It's really good.
Oh, I'll get to it.
It's a really good scene.
I will get to it.
But
I mean, that's what I was expecting. So they have already taken it away from what I was expecting. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, some of the premises I think are good, but it's the bones of it. It's like the arc of, okay, we got to get him off. Leia's a good way of doing that. Create a connection. But then we got to have the Vader singing again. And another idea is the idea of bringing. I actually think the idea of what they're doing with the Reva character is good as well. It's I like the overall ideas. I just think the delivery, the way that they're delivering it all, is just cookie cutter.
Yeah, I think there's some inexperience with this director. She's not.
There's an experience with all of the directors.
She actually took on all of these. She did.
Yeah, I know from start to finish. Yeah.
So it's good they've got the consistency, but I don't think she's she's no Robert Rodriguez or something like that. Well,
Robert Rodriguez did Book of Boba Fett, and that was terrible.
But he didn't write it.
He directed it.
But it was really well shot, and it was the action scenes were pretty.
Yeah, I guess
gripping. Like all the Sand People stuff where he's shooting and yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I guess so.
And the final scene with the Ragnarok.
But I still can't get over the slow motion car chase.
That was a weird thing, man. Did he even direct that though? That boggles my mind.
That's a very good question. I wonder if he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm not giving him enough kudos.
Let's have a look. Boba Fett.
Just type in slow motion chase scene Boba Fett. I bet you it'll appear. Why Book of Boba Fett Episode 3's bike chase was so bad.
Who wrote that?
Blah blah blah. The youthful employees, formerly a street gang.
Are they doing another season? I thought it was done.
What, a Book of Boba Fett?
What episode was that? Number 4? 5.
Where's the time mocking the sequence, taking to YouTube with other words to take parody of the videos?
It might have been this other guy, Kevin Tancharian.
Right. They just mustn't be able to afford to go back and fix.
Bryce Dallas Howard directed one. Oh, that was the one that I saw with you.
Yeah, the one she did the first one. I think Dave Filoni did the second one.
Yeah, I think that bike chase was this guy Kevin. He didn't really do a good job, eh?
Yeah, they give their friends too many opportunities, I reckon. There's so many,
and he let it down. He did. He fucked up.
Sorry,
he did fuck it up as well with this bike chase thing.
Who did?
Kevin Tancharian.
Oh, did you identify it was him?
Well, it was at episode 4. I just don't remember what episode it was.
Episode 3, it said.
Oh, really?
Episode. Just type in slow.
That was Robert Drew Rodriguez then. Yeah, that was him.
Episode, yeah.
Mm.
This leads to a chase through the streets of Moses, but one that director Robert Rodriguez uses as an opportunity to throw in every city chase scene cliche ever put to film, from fruit stands. Very slowly.
I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah, it's like one of what's it called? Groupthink. I think there's a lot of groupthink that goes on over there. People are either afraid to be creative or, I think there's something distinctly Hollywood about that studio. It doesn't seem like they've got many imaginative. So probably the word is imaginative that I think that they're lacking. Like the stuff that they're coming up with is not massively imaginative. And even when, like, it might be a good idea, like they might come up with an interesting idea, but the delivery on it is just not very maybe it's not artistic enough. I don't know what it is.
What would you sort of want for these last couple episodes then, for Obi-Wan, if you were to write it?
Okay, sure. Let's. Okay, so how do we repair all the damage that's been done in the last two remaining? Okay, so what have we got? We've got Reva is now. So Reva's put a tracking thing on their ship.
But let's say it didn't. Let's say it's just you've got your characters, Leia. You open slate. You got Leia, Obi-Wan.
You mean like the entire series?
No, well, like it's already taken a direction that we can't unsee. But like
where am I to take it from?
Now, like they're escaped. Let's say she didn't have the tracker. The tracker seems pretty limiting to me. Now that they've been tracked, it's got like a trajectory.
Back to A New Hope again. Like they do all these. It's almost like they're trying to imply that Reva gave Darth Vader all the good ideas.
That's disturbing. But let's say, it's a blank slate.
So, well, okay. So what's the state of the universe? I'm watching, but have you muted as you're talking? Oh, right. My bro. So let's say, I don't know why you'd be watching us and not listening.
Because there's not much. We spoiled.
It's just so pretty. So, what is it? They're being we have to go with the tracking thing. We just
I think that's bad writing. So that's why I said you don't have to use it.
No, I'm going to assume that I have to. Like we've got.
No, but let's say like before this, it was great where they showed Darth Vader and Obi-Wan meeting. These things you have to sort of get to and get through. Whether or not Leia gets captured or not is another story, though. Maybe she didn't have to get captured.
I'd like to work with the handicap. If I was going to come up with an idea, let's say we've got that. I want to go straight. If you're giving me this opportunity to create an entire new narrative for the next 2 episodes, all right, let's say we got to go with the way that things are. So we've got. So they're escaping to some place. I don't know, where was it that they escaped to? Just some hangar somewhere at some place. All right, let's just assume that it's at some place. So this is pre-rebellion too. So there's no rebellion. Whoever these are, they're just a pathway to save the Jedi. So part of it is also that they're trying to save more than one Jedi. So this whole thing is going to fall over. So because they don't save the Jedi, so let's just assume that by the end of the series, the Empire is going to win. And okay, so part of the plot. Okay, episode 6 is that they actually do
5.
destroy. No, the next 2 episodes, like come the end of the series, they will have discovered and destroyed that the Jedi road, the whatever it's called, the path or whatever. So that's the end of it. Thanks,
but we
bro.
don't know much about the... Oh, is he still there?
Yeah, he just sent me a message saying my fly's undone. He's on the other stream, looking at the one that's below instead of above.
All right.
Yeah, you know it's the late night watch party of Kenobi episode 4. One that's longer than this one.
But we don't know much about the path, do we? Oh, here he is.
Here he is. So no, we don't know much about the path, but
that
doesn't
Chris?
matter.
It is, but my microphone just fell off. Sorry.
That's right.
Welcome.
Derek has just challenged me to fix the remainder of the Kenobi series. So you've just joined up to listen to something, and you may not want to be listening now. So we've got to have 2 stories. So we've got to have a beginning, middle, and end. Yeah. This is hard to do in the next 10 minutes. So I'll
is the
give it a
Yoda
good
sex scene coming?
No, it's already passed. We've already had the Yoda sex scene. That was actually
We've been
episode
waiting
1.
for years for that one.
Who was Yoda sleeping
No,
with?
they just bypassed it. They just played some saxophone.
Who was he sleeping
with? Quinlan Voss.
Oh.
Yeah, all those braids and long hair. Yoda can't resist.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Do they have kids?
He's got the Force.
No, it wasn't that type of a relationship, Derek.
Oh.
It wasn't a long-term thing. It was never going to last.
Oh, no.
No. But it was passionate. There was definite passion involved.
It's forceful.
You know. Oh, Quinlan, your pants you must lose.
I'd pay to see that.
Use the Force, Yoda.
All right,
man, that's your fault, brother. That is your fault for bringing this. You've brought us down to the lowest level.
Because you needed help, didn't you? Really?
I did. I needed an out.
Do you think you will watch this, Chris? Obi-Wan?
Hello, bots.
I think he's muted us or something.
Oh.
No, I can hear you. I'm just saying
okay.
bots in the Twitch stream.
Do you think you will watch this, Chris?
There aren't any bots. No one's watching.
You know what? I probably will. As I say, when the school holidays come soon, I will probably have a look. It seems to me, from what I've heard, to be the least offensive of the Star Wars spin-offs that I've heard of. So
it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's nothing.
I've been watching, like Breaking Bad and what's it called, Better Call Saul, where you have these shows with extremely, artistic directors, and even though it's like a good show anyway, it's actually like this use of color, and each person has a different theme, or there's more to it than just what you see on screen. And while I assume there is in most of these things, generally they just expose so much rubbish that I can't look through the crap to find that.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny you mentioned that, though, because this one is from... She was Better Call Saul director. So there are some hints of that there.
Is it? I haven't watched Better Call Saul. This is what happens when you take out swearing and it's not in the Nevada desert. It's in a different desert.
Better Call Saul, actually, like when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's just going to be a fun spin-off, but it's
I've
actually
heard it's really good.
they the same people have got the same passion, and like there's the very deliberate camera angles, and you can really tell that the person has a vision, so and I appreciate that sort of stuff. So
I think
now that the same person's directing, I mean, I'm interested.
there's a podcast called The Friendship Onion. I think that's what it's called anyway. It's actually Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan from Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And they just did an interview with one of the music. What was his name? He's like just become massive. He used to do music for games, Call of Duty and stuff like that. And then he did the music for Up. Who was it? Gosh, I can't believe I forgot the name. He's just blown up. He did the music for the Batman, the recent thing. Composer, there it is. The Batman music composer was Michael Giacchino.
Smithy. Let's just call him Smithy.
Michael Smithy. And he was talking about just some of his experiences writing film scores and series scores. He did the music for Lost. He did the music for Up, Ratatouille, and The Incredibles.
Mm.
And he was
the
talking
new Hans Zimmer, huh?
Yeah, well, and you just listening to the guy was really interesting. And he was talking about writing music for film and all of the like any medium, and how important it is to have the right soundtrack and how much of a difference it makes. And he was saying, watch Star Wars without the John Williams soundtrack, and it's like really not that great to watch.
Yeah.
And part of me feels that's one of the downsides to like this series and some of the other Star Wars series has just been apart, not counting Mandalorian. I think they did some interesting stuff with that, if I remember. But I don't remember anything about the Book of Boba Fett musically. And listening to the Obi-Wan stuff in this episode, I didn't find it particularly. It's
memorable.
And it wasn't just that; it was the mix. The way that it was mixed into it was really. It was like a small band instead of a feeling of an orchestra. Like you could hear a lot of the parts, but you could hear them too clearly. It didn't sound like a full orchestra was playing. It was just like they had the sub orchestra who was doing bits and pieces of it. It just didn't seem like it didn't seem cinematic. It was like the B movie version of Star Wars music, or at least the editing of it into the mix was. It was too up close. It just didn't seem to have a lot of depth to it. At least that's what it seemed like to me. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If you watch, there's sorry, Derek, you go first before I comment. It's fine.
I didn't notice that as much, but I'm listening through these crappy speakers at the moment. I appreciated that they introduced this Obi-Wan theme.
It was actually it's not the Obi-Wan theme that I just really. It wasn't that. I like the theme. It was just the music of the episode. Just the whole thing just doesn't really. Yeah, I don't know. It's a series. I think it's a series, and you're expecting it to be a movie. Because
if you watch, there's a really, really good video on YouTube somewhere of Hans Zimmer talking about Dune, where he made and how he went about thinking about it. Like he said, this is the 11th, the 1000th century. I mean, you can't have orchestral bands playing like in Star Wars and all that sort of stuff in the 11,000th century. This is, he said the only thing that remains constant is the human voice. So if you like, it's really, really interesting to see like they were getting.
He was thinking about that.
PVC pipes and they were getting people to speak into instruments to make the sounds. Like if you watch it, it's really fascinating.
And that's kind of what that's what I'm talking about with the imagination and creativity. Is I'm not getting that. Like I think we're used to seeing like the stuff that sits out is actually because there are these super creative people out there doing amazingly creative stuff with some not with source material, like using Dune as an example, or like even the Batman. I thought it was I quite enjoyed it, and the music of it was very different.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's good.
Who's the Batman now? I gave up after like what's his name?
David Patterson.
Christian Bale.
David Patterson.
Oh.
For me, it's Michael Keaton and Christian Bale.
It's the guy from Twilight.
Okay. I just saw him in Harry Potter with my kids the other day. I mean,
yeah. Well, now you know what. Like, if he hadn't died in that series, that's what it would have turned into.
Batman.
He was in Tenet as well, isn't he? Anyway,
yep.
I'm sure we're getting off topic here. You go back.
Well, it's just I think that a lot of the stuff they're doing in Star Wars is they're like trying to stick to some type of a formula, and it's stifled all their creativity, and so they're going for safe options. So all of the things. I recall
in The Mandalorian, wasn't there that like the prison ship episode, which was. I vaguely recall the music being very different in that one.
I'm not actually going to include The Mandalorian in that. I think that like The Mandalorian is the outlier. I think that was people feeling that they could do they had a very clear idea of what they wanted to do. Had a very clear goal, and there were people who were passionate about it, and I think that that's where the difference was when it came to that.
About all this.
What was that? Sorry,
he wasn't. He just fell asleep.
No, I couldn't. It break up slightly. What was?
No, Chris just Mandalorian is the sort of the one show where the people kind of really knew what they wanted. They had a bit of a almost clean slate. Not clean slate, I mean, from what I've heard, all the cartoon series had these different species and all that sort of stuff, but like there was a plan to it, and from the music to the direction and everything compared to the others.
Yeah, I think as well there was less expectation because it was just a new character, and they were they did a lot of good stuff with storyboarding, I feel, in that as well. Like I was watching some of the making of, like, and they show it in the outros of each episode. Like they go to so much effort in getting the concepts right, in the look and feel of these these things before they even start shooting.
A lot of care.
Yeah, and that's a bit lacking now in this new stuff.
I think it's trying to be safe because of the character. It's interesting. It's almost like because they're trying to be so safe in some ways, they shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny being a 40-year-old talking about Star Wars still.
Well, when I can remember when Rogue One came out, I watched a review on Red Letter Media. Have you heard of those guys?
Yeah, they're the satire guys, right?
Yeah. And they basically talked about it, and they said, so Rogue One was for 39-year-old bearded men. And at the moment that I had watched that show, that was basically literally categorizing me to the facial characteristic and age. It was like, wow, how can I? They're not wrong, So
it was a good movie, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, look, we're looking in hindsight now. I mean, let's face it. Even Rogue One had very little or no character development, but it happened to have almost the best space scenes in all of the movies. At least for me, anyway.
Oh, it had a feel to it. It felt like Star Wars.
It did. It did feel more like the old Star Wars. That's true.
Like
her arc of being this sort of fatherless...
The pilots back from the original footage. Sorry, what's that, Derek?
Oh, her arc of being this sort of fatherless, I don't know, what was she doing? She was sort of a thief, wasn't she, before that? To becoming like this, spearhead of the...
On, she didn't have an arc. The only person who really had an arc was the Andor guy, and now he's getting his own series.
He didn't have. That was the thing that people said. He didn't have an arc. The only arc that he had was when he said, "I've been fighting this war since I was 6 years old." It wasn't
Yeah, look, nobody had an arc, and there were too many characters. But anyway,
she had an arc. She had an arc. I think she had an arc. I think you're wrong.
Because she had to find out why her father did what he did, and it was because of the plans. And then she got
the only arc was the Death Star. No? Okay, fine.
I didn't get it. No, you're going to explain that one.
Spheres, arcs, no, and anyway.
Okay. No, sorry. Don't get
Just
it.
glad my camera's not on. Anyway, I've got about 60 seconds.
Any final thoughts?
Are you asking me or Chris?
Oh, Chris. He said he's got to go in 60 seconds.
Here's my son.
Oh, there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Now you know what my brother looks like and how unlikely
released to Twitch.
Let me try and see if I can add a name.
He's disappeared again.
Oh, he's gone.
It's my son. I can't show my son's face.
That's true.
I'm not Jordan Matters.
Oh, no, I can't edit this. I was trying to put your name in, Chris.
It's fine.
So, Is there, you want to close it out somehow, Chris?
Look, I'm going to say goodbye and good luck to you too. And when are you watching episode 5?
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
thanks for jumping on.
How many episodes of this show are there?
2 more.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, I finish school the end of next week, and then everyone here is at school for at least another week. So I'll probably get these TV channels and just binge like crazy.
Tell me what you think when you've binged it. Because it may be better with a binge than it is with a
just to have
episode.
That continuity.
Yeah. I'd like to know what you think of it that way.
It's hard to watch anything at the moment. I basically come home, help everybody around here. Once they're in bed, I might get to play a video game for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then basically I'm asleep. So
it's busy.
Good times.
Fair enough.
It's the end of the school year here.
I know the feeling. Half the time.
Goodbye, gentlemen. Enjoy your show.
Good to see you, Chris.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks,
see you.
Catch up.
See ya.
Did you still want me to try to come up with 2 episodes?
Well, just to give you the gist, what do you sort of want to see? Because you said it was lacking imagination. I kind of agree with you.
And you've literally just asked me to be super imaginative for 2 episodes. So
no, just like what would you feel?
I just like the idea of the challenge to try to come up with something instead of saying what I would but so part of what are the interesting elements of the series? So there's the relationship with Leia and Obi-Wan. So she's got to forget that he's Obi-Wan Kenobi somehow. So she has to get amnesia. So that's going to be one of the elements. So she's.
Are you being serious or not?
Okay, here we go. Episode 5. Leia dies. Obi-Wan Kenobi does not save Leia.
Yeah.
Leia is a clone.
You rely on these clones a lot, I find.
You're right. Leia's not a clone. Leia, what they didn't tell you in episode 3 is that there were triplets.
Oh.
And that it's Leia, not Leia. Everyone's been calling her Leia, but it's not. It's Leia. And Leia dies. And Leia has been on...
so the girl with Obi-Wan at the moment is Leia. It's not Leia.
Sorry?
Is the girl with Obi-Wan at the moment Leia or Leia?
Yeah, Leia. She's Leia.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's got to have the feeling of failure so that he knows he has to protect Luke. These are the stakes. Yeah. Leia dies. So how does that happen? Well, she has an aneurysm. So because of the dangers of space travel, one of the things they don't reveal in most of Star Wars is that there's like a 0.5% chance that people can die from too much light speed travel.
Yeah,
it's like that there are quantum particles that interfere with the brain, and that sometimes they can accumulate, particularly in the very young. And she has an aneurysm before we even get to episode 5.
Oh, she's not even in the next episode.
No, she is. The first shot of episode 5 is her dead face. And we don't do any 5 hours before crap where we show a dead face and everyone's going, what happened in the interim period? No, it's explained in 20 seconds. The doctor says there's nothing we could have done. Actually, no, that's too cliched. The doctor says, fuckity fuck. She's dead. Holy shit.
Who's the
dead.
doctor?
The droid. They have a doctor droid. It's like, don't kill me, I'm a droid. I know you just kill people when they fail, but so Leah's dead.
I like it already.
And the next episode, the whole episode is not actually about saving Leia. It's about finding her replacement. So no, there weren't triplets. This is actually finding a Leia replacement.
Oh, because the whole Amidala thing, right?
So they have to save Leia. So what they need to do, he can't save her. She's dead. And she actually never has any because they go, this is all working out. This is answering itself. Leia's dead. First, just the start of the episode, she's dead. What they didn't know was, no, it's not even that. The droid that has a tracking mechanism on it, they actually find that out in the first 30 seconds because they're actually smart. And they think, hang on a sec, we've escaped. Let's make sure that there's no tracking devices on us. Let's be smart. That's what you'd do. Let's make sure that they weren't doing anything shifty. They're the Empire, and then the Sith. They're very intelligent. Let's make sure there's nothing subversive going on. So they discover the tracking mechanism. And it's actually Leia that does that because she knows the droid so well. So it explodes, and she dies.
Oh, she doesn't get an aneurysm.
No, I'm because you've asked me to be creative, I have to keep working on it so that the concept is playing itself out. Sometimes these things explain themselves once you get all the pieces together. So Leia explodes in the first 1 minute of the episode because and what it is everyone, it's this first scene is they're all really quiet, they're all sitting down, they're really depressed. Mouse is dead. So I've forgotten what his name was, so I'm just going to call him Mouse. And Leia looks at a droid and says, his eyes! red instead of blue. It's always been blue before. I think there's a tracking machine in here. And it explodes and kills her. And Obi-Wan is absolutely horrified. He's failed big time. Last 4 episodes of him doing nothing but fail. And he knows that he has to fix this somehow. So she's dead. What's he going to do? Well, they're actually going to the place where a whole bunch of Jedi kids are being rescued and transported from one place to another. So they're on their way to this place, and the Empire's hot on their heels because they know where they're going. They figured it out. They've mapped the trajectory based on the droid. So the episode is about him finding... He's got 2 jobs. One is to find a replacement for Leia's corpse and get her plastic surgery. And then the third the first is finding a replacement that looks somewhat like her. The second is getting off the planet when the Empire comes along and they escape. And episode 6 is about plastic surgery, and him communing with Liam Neeson.
I like the aneurysm better.
Yeah.
The droid just swearing. Just the droid swearing.
fuck.
It's very Tarantino.
Holy fuck, oh shit, oh fuck. Everyone just shoots it.
Then it's...
Don't kill me! And then it's everyone going, fuck!
It does free you up. You don't have to.
We got to pivot this. We got to pivot this out of the realm of where it's going. It's like so. I mean, the only thing the typical things that they can do is a montage of him communing with Liam Neeson. And
no, but I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I was just saying that
That's exactly what you're doing.
What would you want to see? Like, I'm even giving you the freedom that you don't have to have the tracker.
Okay, so what would I like to see? I don't know. Something interesting.
Like when you first saw the trailer, Obi-Wan coming out, and you saw that the time period, it's between the 2 series sequels. What were you sort of imagining?
I think that I wouldn't make Obi-Wan Kenobi a dipshit. Like, not a dipshit. I don't think they need to go down the same route of, the old man who hasn't used his powers in a long time, bloody blah, blah, blah. Okay, I can't even believe that they did that, considering how much backlash they've gotten in the past over doing something similar. So that would be the first thing I wouldn't do.
So what would it look like then?
Well, if he's got to commune with Qui-Gon, maybe it's something more about that, about how he's going to figure out how to, the last thing that we kind of see is Yoda saying, did he say that he was going to teach Obi-Wan, or that?
But that was already part of this. That wasn't anything to do with the prequels. That was I think they added that in, I'm pretty sure.
Training for you? Yeah, no, they did. That was in the prequels. That's Yoda said, "Learn to commune with them. I will teach you." He
said that, did he? I've already
blanked that was in Revenge of the Sith. It was like one line. I don't even know why I remember this crap,
because that was in the. They put that in the start of this.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that he doesn't have to have been on Tatooine. Like, if he's supposed to learn how to protect Luke, it may be that there is another reason he has to leave Luke. Maybe it's that he doesn't want to, but he knows that he has to be trained in this new technique. So there's so many, like being trained in a new Jedi technique. Hell, there's so many different ways that they could explore that. About like it doesn't need to be about. Hell, you could even make it a bit. Actually, you know what? You could have made this actually about Obi-Wan. This could have been about it. This could have been a character study about Obi-Wan and about. Actually, what would have been really interesting was if they dived into. And what would have been different, and I think people would have liked, because it wouldn't have been Star Wars, was to actually get into the Obi-Wan character and through, because this new technique, whatever it is about becoming one with the Force and disappearing when you're chopped in half, I think that would have been really interesting if they explored how he has to get to the point where he can do that technique, which has to be something of self-reflection rather than, I mean, what we've seen so far is him going, Qui-Gon, are you there? Qui-Gon. Wrong answer. No answer. He keeps getting the dial tone. Maybe it's more of a search of self and an exploration of maybe it's about, actually maybe part of it has been about he has to go back and visit the places that he's been on his journey as part of the Clone Wars and what differences he has made and how he's changed or not changed the course of things. Maybe this is a very meditative series where he goes and it's about showing the little things that he has done have been the little things that, so he's been part of the Clone Wars and he's fought in all these battles, and they can go back and they can show some of that stuff if they want to. But the thing that matters is not the big battles or the thousands of, I don't know, armies he's helped defeat, but the people along the way that he's interacted with that is actually those times when he's been in tune with the people around him and how he's impacted them and how they've impacted him, and feeling through the Force how he's become that he can sense himself in the people that he's touched. And through that sense of understanding of connection, that self-reflective part of him can come through, and he actually, and the technique starts to sort of build inside of him, so that because that's the thing about the Qui-Gon part, was this quiet guy who was chilled about a lot. He was, chilled about a lot of things and very quiet and reflective. So it's about Obi-Wan becoming that reflective self, because that's the person you see in A New Hope. So the Obi-Wan series, really, what would have been better would be less about let's go and let's find Leia and create this pathway and this connection with Luke and stuff, and more about, look, how can you protect Luke if you can't move past who you are? And as much as you want to protect Luke, you need to, and this isn't about fighting the good fight or saving people's lives or going and rescuing people from stuff. It's about the dangers of getting to these places and then discovering that it's not the dangers that he's growing from, it's the people that he's meeting there and how his connection with them is growing. And because I think because the whole thing, they have the right thing about saying that, Obi-Wan failed as a teacher for Darth Vader. Well, he needs to be a proper teacher to Luke. So this whole thing with Reva is just noise that isn't needed. Like, that's, if we were talking about a bridge between Obi-Wan and these two parts, it's about his transformation, not through daring adventures and stuff, which you can still have, but about, like, it's sort of like a 12 steps, like your Alcoholics Anonymous type, those things about apologizing to people, or learning from other people, and but not learning from other people in the sense of them, a 10-year-old girl saying you need to be wiser, or a woman saying, I think you need to man up. Not people teaching him lessons, but him learning, like teaching himself. I hate that narrative, that thing about a person telling you the answer. It's so boring, because then it's like you never came up with the answer yourself. He can explain it to someone else what he's learned, not someone telling him what he needs to learn.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the thing is that Star Wars is always about that premise about being told, the wise old man. It was built on that. That's why it's sort of been laid down all this time. And they do borrow that a lot. It's Yoda, it's Obi-Wan.
Be wise. But he's not wise. They're not making him wise. How can he be the wise old man for
someone
Luke
telling
if he's not
him.
wise?
There's always been someone that's told him, Even though Luke went against that, in the case of the second one, but there's always been that wise person telling.
But there's the creativity there. There's the imagination. As soon as you say that, then you're doing that's the problem. The problem is Star Wars has always been about this, and then people say, well, it's not creative enough. Well, you need to have creative. The narrative has to be creative, not just the sets and the shots. The plot and the ideas behind it need to be creative and explore a different story. So, and I can't imagine a better way of doing it than having Obi-Wan become the wise man through self-reflection. Not through being told by people who are younger and less experienced than you. It just seems so stupid.
You mean Leia?
Well, that's one of them, yeah. But this other lady who I don't even know her name. Like,
I thought they were doing that actually because he was going to become a love interest. I thought that's what they were setting up there.
Oh, really?
I had the vibe.
I didn't get that at all.
I had just had a vibe. I don't know.
He actually had a love interest in the Clone Wars.
Oh, right. Okay, so maybe it won't happen then.
I know more than I should.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. It's got a lot of legs. But how do you sell that to a modern audience is the thing. It's a very spiritual look. You pick a series that does it, like Kung Fu.
I
haven't watched Kung Fu.
Well, they're big proponents of Westerns and all of this stuff. So you say it's like Kung Fu. It's a person who's going, but it's a spin on Kung Fu. It's like 12-step Kung Fu.
I mean, that's what Jedi training has always been. And that's what we didn't see. We saw in like 2 episodes of Boba Fett where they skipped to it. But they're trying to sort of do that Jedi training thing there.
They can't sell that self-learning thing. You're right. They did try to do that with the Boba Fett and him fighting with the staffs and, learning his lessons and stuff. So, in fact, when you think about it, they did more of that than they've done with Obi-Wan. It's just been a beatdown on him. And I know that they got to build him up, but everyone says it's got to be done in 6 episodes. I don't think they can. I honestly don't think they can. I think the 6th episode is about him realizing that he has to make a change, not that I like. If we were to go with where I think the series is probably going to go, it's well, this isn't about him starting. He can't start the rebellion. He can't do that stuff. This isn't about that stuff. So this is about what happens when all of that is taken away from you. I think this is about him realizing that he has to make a change to his approach. I think that's where
when we see him in episode 4, he wasn't broken. Like, he's been in isolation, but he wasn't broken. He was actually...
That's right. That's right. So the only way that we can get to him being that person in 2 more episodes is not through him turning around. He can't just suddenly become wise. I think we got to have the epiphany. We got to have the thing that, where, you know, the look in the camera, that the change from despair to acceptance and resolve, not anger, because that's not a force thing. It's
yeah, I think they will get there, because the decisions he's making in his acting, they are sort of coming from that anger place. But he has been searching for the Liam Neeson, you know.
Yeah, I just think that it's quite clear to me that the pace of this is so slow. For, like, they've set themselves a challenge of, okay, we've made him this person who needs to grow. And we've spent 4 episodes where he hasn't grown, except, like, he started to use the lightsaber and he's starting to use the Force again. That's just way too slow. You can't do...
We've seen him face Anakin. That was a big one to see.
But he failed with that. Like, he ran away. He had fear. He was tortured. And, like,
but
there
I mean,
wasn't
like, his next meeting of him, that could be the next meeting of him, maybe.
Say that again. Sorry, you broke up.
His next meeting of him could be episode 4. I mean, the growth might happen in between that.
5. But we keep saying that. I like don't think that they're going to do it, because there's they're drawing things out too much. Like, I mean, how much of this was based around, like, the premises of like, this was more dedicated to the rescue stuff, you know, than it was to any development or growth for Obi-Wan. Like, he didn't grow in this. He decided he wanted to rescue Leia. He started to use the Force more. Like, there was no development for him. He just went from A to B. So now they've got to do it for episode 5 and 6. Like, they haven't spent time.
They introduced the idea of it because, not the idea of the growth, but the fact that he was resisting and he's being reactive. Like, he jumped out of the Bacta tank and he didn't allow time to heal, and he had to save. He's being impulsive, and she's the one telling him, you need time to heal. She does have some experience of it. She was a Empire soldier who's turned away from that side of things. So she's been in hiding her life. So she does have experience of it, and she's telling him that you need to heal, basically. So maybe he will listen. I don't know, in the next episode or 2.
I just don't. This guy isn't a Jedi, though. Like, the
way he's acting, no, he's lost his.
He's lost all those things. Like, the.
But I do feel that that's the arc that they're heading.
I think that that's definitely where they want to get to. Yes, I just think that they've thought, we got to do this in more than one season.
I honestly thought it was going to be a love scene with that chick, and then that's when he would get the epiphany.
Really?
Something like that. Something corny like that.
Like they end up on Dagobah with a foursome between Yoda.
There's
Yoga,
not enough
Quinlan
sex
Vos.
in Star Wars. It's got to be.
There was enough of it with Anakin and Padme and Sand.
But you know what I mean? It's something that brings him out of that sort of fight or flight thing that he's in.
But the love scene doesn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just that relationship with her. I thought that's what they were leaning towards.
Well, no. The whole thing is the relationship with Leia. That's the.
Do you think that's the thing that turns him over then?
I think that's what they're going with. Yeah.
How does she do that?
Well, you saw at the end of this episode, she was holding his hand.
Oh,
so it's about
yeah. I was getting distracted. I think something happened and I couldn't quite keep up. So what happened there? I missed that actual whole thing.
So she had an aneurysm. And
she just held his hand? Was that the deal?
Yeah. They came aboard. The lady was looking really depressed because her friend died.
Melcy died.
Yeah. She had more emotion about the loss of a friend than anyone has. So far.
But she just held her hand, no dialogue.
Yeah, but they kept this shot on her for quite a while.
I like this dynamic between like the old man and the daughter, like the not daughter, but like the daughter figure. In The Last of Us, did you ever watch that? Play that? No,
I know a lot about it.
Yeah,
So,
that's a powerful dynamic if they do it right. But it was an older girl there. Like, I don't know how they're gonna. 10 is like too young to.
She was pretty young in the first Last of Us, wasn't she?
14.
Right.
Because you got to have enough of.
Well, they've shown her as a mature 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
A 25-year-old, 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's true.
She's got the mental fortitude of Master Yoda.
So, but she can't know the truth about her father is the thing, because she doesn't in the new, in the movies.
No, but she also doesn't. But she doesn't know that much about him in the New Hope. Like the most that we get is help me. I mean, we do get like help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Years ago, you fought my father with my father during the Clone Wars.
It's expanding on that history.
Yeah, it's just the.
But it's just exactly like you say. He needs to turn inwards and find the answers himself. So maybe they do go that direction as well.
They all have to die, except for Leia. Leia, like maybe this seems to be about as much about her as it is about him. Like there's more challenging of her loyalties and like there's that interrogation scene about her. Yeah, I just don't get this. Why they have this character of Reva in there? It's like they spend. Yeah. Whatever. I put a tracking about the ship. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm going to throttle you, my daughter-in-law.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I don't know.
But
she's the antagonist, though. I would have preferred it be the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor. It would have been more interesting.
Yeah.
For
me. And I think that's the thing, that this is the problem. And I think they did the same thing. They did the same thing with like The Last Jedi, with The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, is that they keep creating these narrative questions that need story-based answers, not something that can be said but has to be done to answer the thing. So, like if you kill off the Grand Inquisitor in the second episode and you know that he has to come back, you don't create that question and then never answer it, because it's like someone being distracted by something and they can't concentrate on the stuff that's important. Like it's like if Darth Vader dressed in pink and no one can actually follow on what's going on because all they can see is a pink Darth Vader. So I have no idea what you just said because all I can see is the color pink. And so when you kill off a character that a lot of people know is not supposed to be dead, it's like, well, now you've created a question at a time when I don't want to be asking that question. Like, I'm supposed to be focused on the main story, and you've just told me something that can't be true. And I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb, I think. That was a dumb move.
I think that's what's really the thing I think that's the ultimate problem, is they do these things that detract from the main story, and it breaks the what is it? It breaks the. It's too distracting from what you should be focusing on. So if the question of Obi-Wan is in this state and he needs to get to that state, you don't keep introducing these other things that create questions that aren't relevant to the main storyline. So why would you introduce if you're going to introduce the Grand Inquisitor, just introduce someone else, not that character. If he's going to get killed off, fine. Just introduce someone who no one knows anything about, there's no place in any of the story, and then gets killed off halfway through, and you don't have to ask that question anymore.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's that problem sorted. You don't just introduce them as a cameo and then kill them, and then not answer that. Because
the intention, I feel, was to use his death as increasing her stakes, so making her more powerful in the viewer's eyes. But it did not achieve that, though. It didn't achieve.
No, because everyone was left wondering how a character that is actually still in a series later on is dead. So it's like, well, I'm sorry, I just got distracted.
Yeah.
They should have just created.
But even if that wasn't the case, I didn't even know that. But her killing him didn't achieve the purpose they wanted.
What did it for you? What did you feel when you saw that? I
felt robbed because we were introduced to a cool character. I did want to see more of him.
He was more interesting than she was.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a fail on their part, I think.
Yeah.
Why introduce such a cool character, go through all the process of introducing him and getting the actor so involved in his character just to kill him off in the next scene? It's really boggles.
I think because is that they had a good. He had a good line at the start of the series, where he's explaining what they do and all of that.
And that's half the problem, man, is to sell a character. You gotta have this really good introduction.
They sold a character and then got that character killed by the character who we haven't been sold.
Yeah. It's a mistake, eh? They should have just kept consistent. But I definitely agree that it should be a more spiritual side to this moving forward. Rather than this reactive thing. I'm hoping that's where they head, though.
I think that it won't be this series. It'll be season 2 or something like that. I just don't see how they can do it in 2 episodes.
I mean, what do they have to do in these 2 episodes, though? They just have to get Leia back, him back home.
Yeah. And he has to get back to Tatooine. But it's more than that. She has to get back home with an explanation as to why they're not going to continue to, like, she's in the Imperial hands now, right? So she was kidnapped by outlaws, and now she's with the Empire. So she can go back now, back home. But they're not. She was going to be imprisoned or tortured or what have you. But she has somehow to get back to Alderaan where it's all fine. And she's not going to be tortured again. So in order to do that, they basically have to kill off Reva, really, because she's the one that's doing all of that stuff. She's the one that instigated the thing with Leia. Basically, Reva has to be... Oh, right, okay, I see what they're going to do. Alright. So what they're going to do is they're going to peg... Alright, this is my theory. This is where it fixes it all. Can you see how tight I just got when I realised it? So, somehow they're going to be convinced that Reva was actually working with the Path group. And, like, Reva will get killed. She'll be identified as part of this Path group thing. And so that she can be blamed for the kidnapping of Leia and all of this other crap. So that's the only way that it works, that Leia can actually go back to Alderaan scot-free.
Oh, so she was Path, you think? The whole time?
No, I think that she'll be framed. She'll get framed by either an Inquisitor or by the Path itself. Or it'll just look that way to Darth Vader or something like that.
Who kills her,
must have been... Leia does.
Leia does?
I'm not joking. Because Obi-Wan's not going to kill her.
Oh.
They can't have a man killing a woman. You can't have Obi-Wan killing a woman Jedi.
Okay.
I tell you, actually, it won't be Leia, it'll be the other lady. That's why she's there. She's not there as a love interest. She's there as the person who confronts Reva and kills her later. That's what's going to happen.
I wasn't sure she was going to survive this episode, to be honest.
I didn't think so either, but now, I mean, like, she really should have died based on the way that things have played out so far. Man, I can't believe how suspicious everyone was at that base.
Yeah, it was very... They set it up to be very, the Prison Break type thing. The suspense of all of those
encounters. Like, what was that? Like, you hear a sound. What was that? What was that? It's just like, I've been working for 16 hours for the last 6 months, and I've jumped at every single sound that I've heard as I've walked past the hallway.
It doesn't make sense, eh? They didn't set it up.
That's like in the Mandalorian, like one of the last episodes that was done by Taika Waititi, where, those stormtroopers were sitting down and just having a chat, and they've got Grogu, and they're just whacking the bag with Grogu in it. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember.
But yeah, there's a funny scene where he's just like got his blaster out and he's just trying to shoot something on the ground and he just can't hit it because stormtroopers.
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
Like, that's probably more realistic than the stormtroopers who jump at everything as he's walking past. Stuff.
It's a different world, eh? It's a different world. It's a more true to Star Wars world though, with the score and everything.
Which one?
This Obi-Wan. It feels closer to.
It's closer. Yeah, it's closer to the prequels in that regard.
I hope you're right, and I hope they kill this Reeves woman because I don't like.
No, she has to die. There's 3 ways that she will die. One is where she sacrifices herself for some reason. like she comes around, or like she starts to connect with Leia, and for some reason decides that she's going to protect her. The second is that she actually does have an ulterior motive to find the path, and it's not to do with that she's actually not with the dark side or with the Jedi. She's her own path, and she doesn't want to be an Inquisitor or anything like that. She actually wants to find someone and escape. Maybe she's looking for someone. And that she dies in the process of rescuing, blah, blah. Now, the third is that this lady shoots her. I don't see Obi-Wan killing her.
No. What about Vader? It's a different Vader, I feel. Like he's just walking through the streets, breaking necks. He's got it in him.
That's the Empire Strikes Back Vader, yeah. But I don't think that Disney would do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the thing that Disney would do. I don't think Disney would have Vader kill a woman. Or at least a woman that's been introduced as a main through-line character that we're supposed to have some connection with. It'd be interesting. Like, that would be a little bit different to me, narratively, if Vader killed her. Like, he fulfills his threat. But even then, I'd find that would not be... You still have to close off her character somehow. You can't just kill her, because even if you want her, even if you don't like her character, and she has to, like, she... Alright, so there is a fourth option, and that she's killed off screen by Vader.
Off screen, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and they outsmart her, because you got to somehow close the loop on her, like close out her arc. You still have to know what her ulterior motive. Well, I think we kind of know it, but she hasn't had her monologue yet. And
that theory feels pretty two-dimensional to me.
What
like
does?
She was this kid, Jedi in training, and she saw her friends killed, and now she's got this vengeance against Obi-Wan, and she's hunting him down. That seems really two-dimensional to me. So I actually didn't hear the... I didn't watch it either. I just assumed that's what they were getting at.
I'm going to watch this a bit more. Maybe I'll enjoy it more when I'm not distracted by the delay and the voice and stuff like that, Because it's probably... Look, the episode probably is actually better than I felt it was, because, we
were criticizing it as we were watching.
We were criticizing it the whole way through. Like, they always got to break people's necks. And... Yeah. Anyway, how are our listeners going?
Still on 2.
We've got 15 now.
Oh,
so that's
really?
you. No, I'm lying.
Okay. All right, dude. Let's call it then, eh?
I think we should call it. Thanks for the chat, man. It's
been
fun.
Thanks. I'll end the stream.
Had a fun time. I hope you don't mind me. Okay. What is it? Stopping.
Stopping now. Thanks, everyone.